I would like to get your guys' thoughts, starting with Chris, on one, that matchup in week 1 of the playoffs for Corona Centennial, and 2, how in the world they would lose back-to-back times here in the playoff bracket, and this time to a Trinity League foe, not Bosco, but Mater Dei in just round number 2. Is Corona Centennial really that much of an underdog to not win that game?
Are you talking about Centennial against Mater Dei?
Correct. That being round number 2, which assumedly they beat Sarah, who they're very, very favored to do.
Nick, here's the funny thing about it. That's another team that Mater Dei has already seen and beaten this year. I think Centennial must improve to 0. Mater Dei beat them by 20 points. I don't think it would be that wide of a margin, and I believe the game would be at Centennial. It might be at Mater Dei. I don't know how the coin flip would in that one. We'll have to wait and see if
I think it should be a Mater Dei. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll have to see if both those teams even get by round 1. You know, Sarah's a very athletic team. The Centennial's been playing, I hate to say it, but some weak teams in the Big 8. But they were tested a lot in the non-conference. They played Palm Beach, they played Mater Dei, they played Orange Lutheran, they played Bishop Gorman. They all played those games extremely tough outside of the Mater Dei game, which they lost by 20 points. So, I mean, I do have in my bracket both of these teams winning the first game, but obviously it can go either way. Like I said, Wesley could easily take care of Mater Dei at home, and Bardina and Sarah could find a way to take care of Centennial on the road, even though I don't see that happening. If they do indeed once again match up Mater Dei and Corona Centennial, I still think the matchup to Mater Dei. I think the way that Mater Dei plays offensively, I think they're going to dominate the time of possession. And Centennial's offense is all about, you know, the run and shoot, the hurry-up spread. And this is a team that's going to put up a lot of points on you if you don't slow down the game. And Mater Dei is a perfect matchup for Corona Centennial. That's vice versa, actually. Corona Centennial is a perfect matchup for Mater Dei because Mater Dei can slow down the tempo and take Centennial offensively out of their rhythm. So if these two teams indeed do match up again in round 2 of the Pac-5 playoff, I give the advantage to Mater Dei.
Mater Dei, obviously a ball club that only finished 3rd out of the Trinity League, and they fell behind to number 2, J. Sarah. The Lions will take on Corona Santiago at Saddleback College to open up playoff play. And just real quick thoughts, Dan. J. Sarah, is this a ball club that could cough up a playoff game in round number 1 like we expected them to do during the regular season? Is this a team that could win against Corona Santiago, take care of business, then take on what many believe to be Bishop Amat in round number 2?
You would like to think that Corona Santiago could take out J. Sarah, but I don't see it. I mean, only reason why others would like to see that is because they do have an Alabama commit in Blake Barnett, and that's the storyline there. And so, but when they meet up with a Trinity League team, it's a different story. J. Sarah is led by Nick Robinson, a guy who stacks up a bunch of yards, leads the whole Trinity League in just total points and total yards. So the guy, he's got it all together. So expect J. Sarah to turn over Corona Santiago.
Well, Corona, they do have a powerful offense, but really, Chris, do you think that defense is able to contest against, I believe, to be the second best offense that the Trinity League imposes in J. Sarah?
Well, I think that a lot of people don't realize how good Bishop Amat really is. Just 2 regular season losses to their name, one against Santa Margarita in week 0, and the other one to Crespi, a team that went 9-1 on the year and only lost their lone game against Sarah by 1 point. So this is a team that Bishop Amat are battle tested. You know, they played the ranks of the Trinity League in the non-conference play. They had a tough league. A lot of people think the Mission League is right up there with the Trinity League. So I don't know. I don't know about J. Sarah in the postseason. You know, it's a senior-laden team. We know that. It's a very talented team. Great running back, Edward Vander. Nick Robinson's a stud at the quarterback spot. Ethan Aguayo, he's a top-notch receiver in the Trinity League, and they have a decent defense to go along with that potent offense as well. I don't know if I like the matchup so much for J. Sarah against Bishop Amat. I think Bishop Amat could really get it done against them. I do have J. Sarah in my bracket, and I might make a different bracket before Friday because I'm starting to really take flights out from my picks.
All right, well, you guys have basically been resorting to your bracket from the moment we got started. We might as well do you all a service there on the National Sports Radio Station and just go through who in the world we think will win in your bracketology, per se. And we'll start with the game with St. John Bosco and Cabrillo. Here's how it'll go. We'll go through all of the Pac-5 games here of the CIF Southern Section Championships. And this for high school football, we predict who in the world is going to not only win in the first round, but be the team at the end of the day to hoist that Pac-5 trophy and take on the winner of the North. We'll start with St. John Bosco and Cabrillo. A word and quick thought, and then your team name. Who in the world is going to win? St. John Bosco, Cabrillo. We'll start with Chris.
Cabrillo, April Fool, St. John Bosco.
Dan?
St. John Bosco all the way, root, root, root.
So Bosco would win in the first round and take on the victor of St. Bonaventure and Norco. I have Bosco winning as well and taking on St. Bonaventure in round number 2. You guys agree?
I agree. I think Ricky Town, St. Bonnie's going to be too much on the road for Norco, a team that really struggled outside of some easy wins against King, Roosevelt, and Corona Santiago High School this year. It may be a trap game on the road for St. Bonnie. St. Bonnie might be looking past this first-round game and maybe kind of taking a peek ahead to potentially playing St. John Bosco week 2. That's the only way I can see Norco winning this game, but I got St. Bonnie by 14 points. So, man, that's a few words tonight, St. Bonnie.
Well, that one's what many regard to be a relatively cakewalk, easy win for St. Bonnie. Not the same story with Crespi and Santa Margarita. They'll take control of potentially the most entertaining ball game of Friday night. I have the Eagles squeaking out with a 3-point win. We'll start with Chris. Why you believe that may not be the case?
Crespi on a 6-game winning streak heading into the postseason, 9-1. I've talked too much about them already on this show. Santa Margarita, love them. I feel bad that Kyle Sweet's not going to win a playoff game. Crespi gets it done. Well, I got him also winning this one. Crespi is ranked number 6 for a region in the state.
It's a ball club that talent-wise doesn't exactly match up entirely to Santa Margarita offensively, but they have enough defensive pieces in order to, I'm sure, bottle up Kyle Sweet, and really that's the difference. If you don't have Kyle Sweet, Santa Margarita is next to nothing outside of maybe a Costello run every now and then. The winner of the Crespi and Santa Margarita game will take on the victor of Long Beach Poly and Servite, and I'm sure I'm not alone that Long Beach Poly should very easily win this ball game. Chris?
I don't know about easily. See, it's still, still up in the air. Is Equinami, is St. Brown going to play? Is Terrell Bynum going to play? So I think if those two can play, I think Servite has a chance against Poly. But even with those two playing, I still got Poly, and I think Poly takes care of business by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to say Servite stalks the world and beats Long Beach Poly. I think Servite didn't even play anybody during the Bosco game. I think they decided to rest everybody the rest of the season because the CIF already has this planned out for him. And no matter what would have happened, we found out now, Servite would have gone in anyway. So I think everybody's going to play up Servite, and it's going to be too much for Poly. Wow.
It's the old saying where really Long Beach Poly they rested all their hard work from early on in the year. They really stopped trying, and that may come back to haunt them. The game is at home at Veterans Memorial Stadium, but that would be an upset of colossal proportions. Corona Centennial, and what would be an upset if they're unable to beat Sarah. I have the Huskies winning. Do you guys agree?
I would say Corona Centennial wins this one because they're at home, but I think this is going to be Centennial's toughest test since they took care of Bishop Gorman by 1 point. Since they failed to take care of Bishop Gorman, defeat them by 1 point down at Corona Centennial. It's not easy to play at Centennial. I think Centennial gets it done, and that's a very tough first-round way to go out if you're Sarah, a team that only lost 2 games in the regular season, one to the top 10 team in the nation up in Washington, Bellevue High School. That was one of their losses, and the other one came to Bishop Vermont. So it's going to be a tough first round out for Sarah as they run into a very talented offensive team in Corona Centennial.
I see it like this. I got to question first. Chris, is this the first year, both of them, in the Pac-5?
Correct.
All right. I say this is the CIF's way of saying welcome to the Pac-5. I mean, they're both new, and they both matched them up, coincidentally, huh? But I've got this one going to Corona Centennial only because I feel like they're the more disciplined team. Sarah, welcome to the Pac-5, but a little too much for you.
Well, teams that have been there for a heck of a lot longer than Corona Centennial and Sarah, it's Mater Dei and Westlake, which I believe will come right down to the wire. The winner would take on what we all believe to be Corona Centennial in round number 2, but we'll start off with the opening matchup, Mater Dei against Westlake. I have this one in the favor of the Monarchs, but I'm sure we all can agree it won't be an easy task for either ball club.
No, it won't. As we know, Mater Dei only beat Westlake by 1 point earlier this season. If Westlake plays them any closer, Westlake's going to win. But I do think Mater Dei, a team that learns from their mistakes, they played really sloppy in that game. Perhaps it was a traffic. It was weird. It was a weird game. It was on a Thursday night. It was the final game before Trinity League play. So I think Mater Dei, that was a wake-up call for them. And a wake-up call that they needed. And I think it helps them in this matchup. I think maybe if these two teams don't match up in the regular season and match up now, Westlake wins the game. But because Mater Dei was kind of able to see what happens against Westlake, I got Mater Dei.
I also got Mater Dei. Mater Dei is the number 3 in each league, but in any other league, they're a number 1 next.
We also made the argument during the broadcast when we took on the Monarchs the next week. The reason why, or at least one of them that is, that Westlake played Mater Dei extremely close and actually led for a majority of the ball game was that I'm sure the Monarchs were looking ahead of the schedule thinking we got to play the number 1 team in the state the next week in St. John Bosco, and they nearly let one slip away. It was a non-conference game, so it didn't exactly, it wouldn't have meant a whole lot. Mater Dei, even if they were to lose against Westlake, would have still been in the postseason. They would take on Bishop Amat or Lakewood. Obviously, the talent for Lakewood is nowhere close to the level of Bishop Amat. I have this one in favor of the hometown team. You guys agree?
I'd say so. I think Bishop Amat, the champions of the league. I don't think a second place more league team matches up with them. Lakewood, not the team that they once were. So Bishop Amat wins this one fairly easily.
Catholic boy, picked in a Catholic school, Bishop Amat for sure.
Another Catholic school, J. Sarah. They take on Corona Santiago. I have this one in favor of the Lions.
Hello.
I don't even need to get to you guys. So to recap our opening predictions, Bosco over Cabrillo, St. Bonaventure over Norco. I have Margarita beating Crespi, but both Dan and Chris disagree. Long Beach Poly, I have them beating Servite, but Dan is the lone wolf on that one, taking the Friars over the Long Beach Poly Wolfpack. And then Corona Centennial, the Huskies over Sarah, Mater Dei over Westlake, Bishop Amat over Lakewood, and then J. Sarah taking on Corona Santiago. Round number 2, real quick, this would be next week. St. John Bosco would take on St. Bonaventure, and guys, I'm sure we can all agree it'd be the Braves to win that game.
Yeah, even on the road, I think it might be a close first quarter, first half, but St. John Bosco, they take care of business. I mean, this is a team on a mission, and they're not going out round 2.
Yeah, St. Bonaventure lost their number 1 tight end, Bryce Dixon, to UFC. I don't see any other weapon on offense. Last year, even Iman Diggy Marshall stopped Bryce Dixon, so I don't see Bonnie matching up with Bosco at all.
Well, most of us believe that it'd be Crespi that takes on Long Beach Poly in round number 2 as well. Long Beach Poly, a ball club led by a veteran head coach. Your guys' thoughts about the Jackrabbits and their chances against either Santa Margarita or Crespi? Do they win that game?
I got Paulie squeaking it out. I like